Okay, hi. Hello, everybody. I'm going to teach you how to do lizard pose. Don't remember how to say it though. Uttan Pristasana. Uttan Pristasana. I'm going to do this with a variation because it's early in the morning and I haven't done any actual practice yet. So, here goes. I usually, to prep for it, will start with wide leg, forward fold, and side bend. I'm going to do a little dance, warm up my muscles a little bit, and then keeping your legs wide, not super wide. Draw your fingers down until they hit your knees or as far as you can go, and just keeping your back straight. Push your hip out. That's what you're leading with. You're moving your hip, not your back. This is moving my back. This is shifting my hip. And then my spine follows. And the next time you come down, roll forward, keeping your back straight. Again, this is all through the hip. Turn and come up. Forward bend down. Half forward fold. Keep your knees bent. This far, or just a little micro bend is fine. From here, turn. Rotate your feet. And just hang here for a minute if you need to as you're stretching. Check that your spine is straight and strong, that your hamstrings feel loose enough to get into this. I will teach a variation, like I said, or I guess a mod, more like once you feel ready, drop your knee, sink back a little bit, not all the way, just a little bit. Again, we're focusing on loosening muscles, stretching, warming to make the pose a little easier to get into. So for this, you have to step pretty wide. So bring both of your hands to the left side of your mat if your right foot is forward. Do the opposite if your opposite foot is forward. And I just walk my foot out. You don't need to jump. You don't need to do anything sassy. I just walk my foot out. Might need to adjust a little bit so my ankle is over my knee. And then I'm going to grab my wheel, a couple of blocks. Hi, Bernie. Once I have that, then I kind of scoot my knee back, not super far. And this is about as far as I can go right now. So you're just kind of leaning into it. Try not to let your forward leg splay out to the side. Try to keep it as close into your body as you can, and that's where this variation comes in handy, is if you need to lean on something to get into it, do so. Keeping your back straight is more important than getting all the way down to the floor. And as you breathe, you might be able to, go down just a little farther. And that's lizard pose. To come out of it, I will usually roll back onto this knee and sit. And then there you go. That's lizard pose. Okay. So next is upward staff. Urdhva Dandasana. So you can do this two ways. I am going to do this in the supported version. You can certainly go up onto your hands, but if you have wrist injuries or shoulder injuries, that could be a little risky. So you can do this way. You can grab a blanket or a cushion for your head. And I will start kneeling. Roll out my shoulders a little bit. Take a couple nice breaths. And then when you lean forward, don't be too far away from a wall or a, sturdy piece of furniture, because you're going to need it. But you also want you're going to create an L shape. So you don't want to be too far away from something that can help you create that L shape. So I will roll down. And now keep in mind, when you're doing this, you're holding the weight in your upper back and shoulders. You're not putting the weight on the top of your head. Your head is just resting on the blanket. Walk forward. Don't need to jump. And slowly lift up at the hip, just like in downward facing dog. Adjust. If you feel like you're pushing down, lift up with your shoulders. At the same time, press your forearms down into the mat. To come out, do the same thing. Gently walk down. You can even go into child's pose after that. Okay. So then supported headstand is next. This is going to look very similar, and you can even get into it starting with Urdhva Dandasana. You can even start with upward facing staff. You can use a blanket if you want. You don't have to. It kind of helps remind you when you're pushing a little bit too close to the floor. So I tend to start the same way. I'm going to do a couple of cat-cows. Roll back into child's pose. Roll forward. Step. Step if you need to. I went a little too far away. So if you're going to jump into it, jump at the hip. Don't swing your legs. Careful not to let your back sink down. Stay strong. Mainly so you can safely fall out of the pose, as well as safely get into the pose. All right, let's try that again. All right, fall forward. Engage your core. Slowly bring your legs up. Maybe this pose isn't happening for me today. So instead, maybe I will, can't do handstand. You know what? I'll teach um, maybe a variation on side plank. All right. So I'll start kneeling, and then I lift up, hip, almost like a lift up. I bring one leg out to the side, kind of just like you know what this pose is. So bring one leg out to the side, and then I come back down, reach my hand out, and this is my side plank. I don't really know where to look for this one. Down. And to come out, do the same thing.